Hey guys, what's up? It's 60 degrees here in Chicago. It's not too bad today. Actually headed out in a few minutes to go do a barbecue with me, my cousin, Leo, and the kids. So we're gonna see how that goes. But so let me go ahead and do the topic really quickly that I wanted to do. Now the only one that's home is me and Gus because he's not feeling well. So you'll see him. He doesn't really comprehend as much as the oldest ones would. So today is going to be the topic of people who have suffered from child molestation and child abuse. Yeah, puppy, that's cool. And so let me talk to you a little bit about it. A lot of people think that just because you're in a certain area or you're a certain color and stuff that you don't go through a lot and that you're privileged and stuff like that. So, and it's not always the case. I grew up extremely poor, as I told you guys in the last video. Hopefully you'll hear me because he's playing his Clash of Royal. I don't know what it's And so I came across this video on Facebook yesterday. It's from the Steve Wilkos show. And it's these two women. One's a mom, one's a daughter. And both have blue hair, like bright blue hair. And I know you guys won't be able to hear it because of Panza is over here. Because
over
of Gus.
20 million views.
So I'm just going to show you really quickly.
Okay, I am sick of people. I know.
Wait, huh? Let me see if I can.
It's a mother admitting to molesting her daughter. And it currently has over 20 million views.
I don't know if I can.
Okay, I am sick of people who just constantly keep on asking me, what? Your mother's been molesting you since you was born? Yes, I have. Yes. Okay, yes, I know, some people are like, why would she admit this? But molestation is okay for people. It's okay for my mother to get her anger out and put it all on me. At 2 o'clock in the morning, if I want to go to my daughter's home, I'll do it. Sometimes I try to fight her. She's a strong woman. When she wants to take this, I'm her child. So she can do whatever she wants to her property. And on top of that, a lot of people also, keep on referring to about, well, what if that was your sister? What if that was a father and a son or a father and daughter? Incest. Okay, let me just say this right now, just clearly as day. If he participated in bringing that child, girl or boy, life onto this planet, he can participate on having sex with that thing, yep? So if the mother and father wants to tag team their child, why do they have to go to jail over that? That's their property.
I ain't never been to jail, and DC has been in my house since I was 2.
So, for all those people, we're just gonna end that right now. Yes, we approve of incestation. So, if I randomly just wanna, my mom's old 50-year-old, what bitch? Oh, no! Oh, God!
So, Leo sent me the video yesterday, and I was really appalled. Hold on, baby, hold on. I was really, really appalled with what I saw. I see a very insecure mother. I see a piece of shit mother. I'm going to be honest with you. I really do. I see a person who should have never been a parent at all. I see a person who tries to be a boss, but she's not. So she brainwashed her child into thinking that child molestation and child abuse was okay. This girl clearly looks like her mom has brainwashed her from day one. And I know certain people have their own beliefs and everything or whatever, but child molestation, let me tell you. And let me get it straight. If your mom and your dad create you, they have no rights over you to molest you and to abuse you like that. That is some sick ass shit that a mother or father, but in this case a mother, would brainwash her child so bad into believing that child molestation is okay. So therefore, she is going to take that circle of what she had learned, and when she has kids, she's going to do it to them. And then the circle is going to go on and on and on. Now, let me tell you, I have a very, 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 very low tolerance for child molestations, child molesters, rapists, and bullies, and all this other stuff. Child molestation comes from my own home. So let me go ahead and tell you, it's not a really easy subject when I was younger because I got bullied by it. I used to get people picking on me like, "Where's your dad? Where's your dad? What'd your dad do?" And so let me break it down for you before the oldest ones get home. So I was about, I would say about 3 to 4. And it's really weird because I still remember a lot of the stuff. So 3 to 4, my dad would come home, and I noticed that he had his own bedroom. So he slept apart from my own mother. I slept with my mom, who I was the only child. So he would be in his own room. And there were times where I would hear him raping my mom. And then there was times where he came in and he molested me. He would touch on me and do other things. Well, go. And there were times where he was a normal father. He would take me out, fishing and to the zoo and whatnot. And then there was times where he came home and he would just beat me for no reason. The real worst thing that I remember was him coming home and they got into a fight. Now, mind you, I lived underneath my grandma, like I told you guys in a prior video. And now, they got into a fight. I don't know what the conflict was. I remember I was jumping on his bed. He walks in and he goes into his cabinet and he opens the 2 drawers and he grabs brass knuckles and he hits my mom in the forehead. Now, growing up poor, here's us, she's screaming, she's crying. Now, mind you, my mom has, rest in peace, she passed away in 2004. But she had schizophrenia. So, not only is she a woman who shouldn't be hit, she's also a woman with a disability who should have never been hit. So, going to that subject, here's me and her on a bus. Her forehead, right here, was just open, and just all this was just dripping, because she didn't know what to do. There was no help at that point. There was no help back in that time. So we were on the bus, and she gets stitched, all this. And so finally, about a couple of months, I think, after that, I remember the detectives and stuff, they broke my whole entire basement door. They took him. He served only 7 years in Joliet prison. And, at that point, he was sending letters to my grandma. Like, don't have her go outside, because if she goes outside, I'm going to kidnap her. And all this other stuff. And he would send me birthday cards and Valentine's Day cards. And he couldn't even spell my name correctly because he was illiterate. I'm not the best speller. I'm not the best reader. God knows damn well. So I would be like, what is that word? But, you think if you're in prison and you want to repent and you think that you know, you should be doing something with your life. They have free education, free room and board, free this, free that. I mean, there's no reason for you not to be spelling your own daughter's name. But then there was a girl who used to chill with me that I known for a very long time, and I guess he touched her, molested her, or was taking pornographic pictures of her and whatnot, from what I was told. And that's how I got bullied in school, because she was in the same school. You know, it was a small area, even though you lived in a big city, depending on where you live. And she would just have outbursts and just be like, it's her, it's her, it's her. I can't look at her face, and she reminds me of her dad. And even though I look a lot like my dad, but that was already embarrassing. It was already embarrassing that I had to suffer, you know, growing up with a mom who had schizophrenia, because it's an extremely hard disease to deal with. All the outbursts, all the surprise outbursts, you don't know what they're really going to do. You don't know what they're going to be up to. You don't know anything. I mean, there was times where I was 6 and I had to grow up taking care of my mother because nobody else wanted the responsibility. So I didn't have no choice. I didn't go to prom. I didn't have my friends over to play. I didn't go out. I was stuck in the house because I was on lockdown 24 hours a day, because they thought my dad was going to kidnap me. Well, you know, he would come out and nobody knew when he was going to come out. You know, and with her on and off her medication, and me at 6 years old, you know, it was a really hard time. Trying not to cry. It was a really hard time for a child not to grow up having, you know, things like that. But I grew up, and once I was 18, I got up to I wanted to ask him why he did it. And I got my makeup on. Oh. I hate crying, because when I cry in front of people, for me it's like a weakness. Let me just do stuff on the computer to not try to do anything. So I wanted to ask him why he did it, and you know, you go through all the stages. You go through so many stages. You go through hatred. You wish that person was dead. You want that person never to do anything like that to anybody else. You know, you go through so much, and then once I had to move so many times because of my mom, and it was crazy, because, you know, I didn't really have a mom. It was like I had a friend that I was taking care of, you know. And so I got up enough nerve, finally tracked him down, and when I wanted to come at peace with not him, but for yourself, you have to do it. It was for myself. Because I had to let it go. I had to let that go. I had to let the hatred go. I had to let the disappointment go. I had to let all of it go for me to move on. And you know, let's see. I was 18, and then I found out that he had passed. He had passed in a different city. And, you know, it was hard. Part of me was glad that he was gone. But then part of me was like, well, you're never going to get your closure. You know, you're never going to get that. Why? What happened? So I was talking to my cousin the other day, and I told her, I said, you know, she knew him as a different person, because when... I hate crying. Because when he moved away from us, he was a totally different person. I guess jail kind of mellowed him out. And, you know, I prayed and prayed and prayed. I prayed. And when my stepfather came into my life, I hated him. I didn't trust any kind of man whatsoever. It scars you. It really does. But you have to get through it. You have to pull through it. You have to pray. And you have to forgive that person. Not for them, but for yourself. If you don't, you're going to walk around with so much hatred. So much hate. And you're going to bring that circle that you have learned into a totally innocent child's life. And when I had my first son, I didn't even trust his own father. I would carry my son everywhere I went, even to the bathroom. And I was already 23, and my mom had just passed away. That year prior to that, she passed away a month before I found out I was pregnant with her first grandchild. And it was extremely hard growing up. Very hard. I didn't have clothes. I hardly have food. I got bullied. And there was times that I wanted to, just end it. But there was times that I said, you know what, I can, because I have to take care of my mother. And that kind of created me to have a bigger heart for a lot of people now that I understand the disability and stuff. And I look at my kids now, and I can't imagine bringing that hatred and that abuse onto them. It's like they have everything that I never had. The only thing that I'm struggling with here is the freedom. I'm scared to let them, walk to school by themselves and stuff. But I would never hurt my children like that. I don't understand how parents like this do that. Like, why become a parent if you're gonna do that? I don't get it. So my kids ask me, if they've asked me for years, like, hey, have you had a dad? And, when are we going to learn about Grandpa? So I usually refer to their dad's dad as Grandpa. Just because they're not ready yet to hear that. Even though they're 12, 11, and 6. And the other one's 3. I don't think I should bring that upon them at such a young age. Hatred is a very, very, very bad feeling. And if you're going through that, please leave me a message. Or if you know anyone who's going through that, tell somebody. Tell somebody. You don't have to go through that alone at all. You don't. There were times where I felt like I didn't have anybody in the world, until I started learning and going on the internet that there's tons of people who have parents and children with schizophrenia and who have dealt with child molestation and stuff. And that's what I want to bring to my channel. I want to bring to my channel my personal experiences for you guys, because I go dumpster diving and stuff, but that is my outlet and my time to share with my kids. You know what I'm saying? We go out, we go to the forest preserves, and now I see the Omar from Omar Gosh show. He was downloading a geocaching thing, so great. Now I'm going to be doing that because I love scavenger hunts. And I'll be making a video a little bit later after the barbecue, probably. I don't know. Should I do it? Maybe I'll do it tomorrow since it's going to be daylight when I'm going to be at the barbecue. The kids are headed to church, and I'm headed to the barbecue. I think I'm just going to do that because they need to go to church and do their sports. But yes, if you are ever in need of someone to talk to, or you know someone that has been through this, you're not alone. There's a lot of us that go through it. There's still so much in my life that you guys don't really know. But that was like the breaker and the hard part to do. Because when I was younger, I used to be closed. I used to be very, very closed-minded. To the point where I didn't have my first boyfriend until I was 19. And didn't trust men, and just, and I think that really set me to do things with my children because I'm gonna take them fishing, and they have everything that I never had, and they're the world to me, and I would never think of doing something bad like that to my children. They're so precious. What you want, baby? What you want, baby? So if I broke the cycle, you guys can break the cycle, or you can tell your friend or family member, whatever, they need to break the cycle. Forgive that person for yourself. Forgive that person. He's going to be walking around. Forgive that person, not only for yourself, but for your inner peace, because you're never going to get peace yourself if you don't forgive that person, because you're going to be walking around with such hatred in your heart. And you know what? That circle that you have been taught, or you're used to it. Okay, hold on, baby. You might bring it upon your own children if you have them one day. Don't do that. Kitty! Stop, Zeus. He's sick. Don't do that. What are you doing, Zeusies? What are you doing, Zeusies? Look what you did to my leather chair, you cutie pie. Oh, he's eating my finger. Oh, it's the attack of the kitty. Kitty. But yeah. Leave me a message and let me know. And I feel so much better. If you talk about it, don't ever hide it, because it's the worst thing. It's the worst thing you could ever imagine, to hide it and to be bullied and to sit in your room and be a cutter and to engrave things on your body and to do things. And I overcame all of that. I became a hard worker. And I was a rebel. I mean, I'm not going to bullshit you. I was a rebel. I was into goth. I was into the witchcraft stuff. Went from that to gangbanging to doing all stupid types of crap. That's just how we grow. You have to make mistakes in order to learn from them. And just forgiveness is the main key. If you want peace in your heart and to move on with your life, I think forgiveness is the key, because you're going to have to forgive that person in order for yourself to continue to heal and for you to move on and for you to live your life. Don't let that person control your life. Don't let those memories control your life. Don't let your experiences back then control your life for now or the present or past, or don't let it control your life at all. Because if you do, it will eat you up alive. It ate me up for years and years and years, and I'm glad that I overcame that. I think it made me the woman that I am today. I'm very skeptical about certain things. I'm very touchy on certain things. My children, are well taken care of. They're well loved, beyond loved. They're awesome. I actually just got done buying the two oldest ones a phone, and they were really happy about that yesterday. And then I gotta go head out today and buy the two little ones, two more, what do you call those things? Tablets. And then I still have to buy them a flat screen TV for their room, because we might be moving to a bigger apartment, and they're gonna have their own rooms. So we'll see. We'll see. And I also have to buy a sectional sofa, because in Illinois they're very expensive, but we'll see where I can get one. Well, if anybody knows, drop a link on the bottom. Thank you guys so much for watching. I love you guys so much. You don't understand how much this actually is like my personal journal. So this is awesome. You guys are going to get to see a little bit more once it starts getting warm out. I'll start recording them at the forest preserves and whatever we do. So thank you guys so much. Huge shout out to the Omar Gosh Show. Thanks, Omar, for always tweeting. And thank you, Melissa, for adding me on Facebook. Thank you guys so much. You guys are awesome. You guys remind me of me and Leo. Been together for a minute. Drives me nuts. Want to kick his ass, but I still love him. So yeah, alrighty guys, thank you so much. Thumbs up, subscribe, and have a good day. Love you guys.